A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The important war message you have been expecting will be broadcast immediately after the Fibber, McGee and Molly program. Keep tuned to this station. Here's the Johnson Wax program with Fibber, McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber, McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Over one of the country's leading newspapers, and I noticed an article called Keeping Your House in Tune with the Times. You know, it made me feel right at home, for this is what I read. Preserving and protecting the surfaces around your house was once the sensible thing for a good housewife to do. Now it's a case of preserve or do without. The situation isn't as bad as it sounds if you take advantage of wax in any of its forms. Wax is not only a great preservative, but it's also a great time saver. For wax surfaces are more easily dusted because the dirt and dust remain on top and don't penetrate the layer of wax. Well, now, doesn't that sound just like H. Wilcox talking about Johnson's Wax? I must remember to write them a letter. They've really got the right idea. There comes a tide in the affairs of men when they think they can write a book. Well, the tide is in at 79 Wistful Vista. And here, busily filling page after page of scratch paper, we find that persistent proponent of pithy prose, that fearless perpetrator of punchy paragraphs, Mr. McGee, of Fibber, McGee and Molly.
So, grasping her in his strong arms, he kissed her tenderly on the forehead as she ran her slender fingers through his dark curly hair, which she had first took his hat off so she could. Then, as a knock came at the door...
McGee, I never heard such drivel in my life. What are you reading?
I ain't reading, I'm writing.
You're what?
I'm writing a book.
So that's what you've been doing the last few days.
That's it.
And I thought you were going over the household accounts.
Household accounts my clavicle. Don't you worry about them, Molly. When the dough starts rolling in from this book, we'll have so much money the government won't know what to do with it. Now, let's see. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I was just getting to the place where my heroine, Maisie Laprine, has just met Lieutenant Flagwell.
Just met him?
Yeah.
Last I heard, he was taking her into his strong, curly arms and was kissing her.
Well, it was love at first sight. You see, he was coming down the street on roller skates while she was cleaning the front steps, and she swept him off his feet. I got some cute dialogue there.
I'll bet you have.
But the pot really gets torrid a little later on. This is a love story that'll have every woman in America dripping mascara.
Oh, my.
Where's my phone? Oh, here. Running her fingers through his dark curly hair, which she had first took his hat off so she could. Then as a knock come at the door... Boy, is this realistic. Then as a knock come at the door...
Look, Arthur, I hate to disillusion you, but that was a knock at the door.
Well, it's plagiarism, that's what it is. Come in.
For goodness sakes, Abigail Uppington.
How do you do, my dear? I'm Miss McGee. My dear Mrs. Uppington, what a charming surprise. Do come in. I say, Francois, fill another bottle of sparkling root beer for Madame. Oh, I say, this is jolly, isn't it? When was it we met last? On the French Riviera, was it not? I remember that romantic evening over the gaming tables at Monte Carlo? The night Fifi's de Gumenac shot the Duke? How gay. I remember how the stars shone down like a million jewels on the velvet canopy of night.
Let's start over, Miss McGee. I wasn't here when the game started. Listen, don't mind him, Abigail. He's writing a book and he thinks he's E. Philip Dippenheim or somebody.
Ah, yes. Fine chap, Dippenheim. I remember one afternoon we were sitting in a gay little cafe in the Latin Quarter. I remember it because I didn't know any Latin and Ippy didn't have a quarter. Dread all those little experiences.
Oh, Miss, come off your high horse, dearie, before it throws you.
Oh, I find this very interesting, Mrs. McGee.
You think I could write a book, eh?
I didn't think you could write, period.
Oh, you've been working like a little beaver, Abigail.
You betcha.
Chew a tree down and build a dam for the lady, little beaver.
Okay, Gerard. Laugh if you will, my fine feathered friends. But the time will come when you'll point to my picture in magazines and say, I know that man. That's Earl Stanley McGee, the author.
Who?
Earl Stanley McGee. That's my nom de plume.
I think you mean nom de plume, Miss McGee.
I mean nom de plume. I'm going to show the writing business some new wrinkles.
When you get the manuscript finished, dearie, let me give it to Uncle Dennis.
Oh? Is he acquainted with some publishers, my dear?
Well, I think he is. I've often heard him say he knows every bookmaker in the country.
You know, I suppose, that you should have a literary agent, Miss McGee.
A literary what?
A literary agent. Someone to act as middleman for you, to make good arrangements with some publishing house, to protect your rights. You artistic people are so unbusinesslike, you know.
Oh, yes, I suppose you are. We authors live in a world of dreams, Abigail. We're shy and practical creatures. We should be shielded from the cruder, the harsher aspects of life.
Oh, my. Could you face the crude fact that your fountain pen is dripping on your pants leg?
Huh? Oh. Hey, Uppy, I thought you joined up with the wax. When do you go?
Oh, I don't know, Miss McGee. I was declined with thanks.
Oh, that's too bad, Abigail. I'm so sorry.
Now, that's a shame, kid. They shouldn't ought to have turned down a big, sensible girl like you. What was wrong?
Oh, Mr. McGee, there was a time when I would have approached the answer to that question with some trepidation.
Yes?
I would have evaded a direct reply with all the delicate finesse at my command.
Yes?
But the cold, brutal fact remains that I'm too darn old.
How's the book coming along, Earl?
Who?
Earl. I thought that was your nom de plume. Earl Stanley McGee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I say, I think I'm coming along rather well, you know. Top hole and all that. Working on a jolly situation at the moment. This lieutenant lad, Tragwell, you know. Frightfully decent chap, Oxford and all that.
Oh, listen, stop it. First thing I know, you'll start wearing a manacle.
If you mean eyeglass, my dear girl, the word is barnacle.
It's no such a thing. A barnacle is a seashell that sticks to the bottom of a boat.
I thought that was a binnacle.
A binnacle is a collarbone.
That's my clavicle.
Well, then a binnacle is where they keep a ship's compass.
You're thinking of a monocle.
Well, then what are manacles?
Handcuffs.
That's what I said. You want to be arrested for murder? Well, you're killing me with that English accent.
You answer the phone, will you, Molly? I got Lieutenant Fragwell at the bottom of a 40-foot cistern, and I got to figure a way to get him out.
Well, let his girlfriend hold a big sirloin steak over the edge. I'd jump 40 feet for that myself.
Well, in this case, Molly, you speak the telephone. Hello, Fibber Gildy speaking. Who? Oh, yes. This is Earl Stanley McGee, the novelist. How do you do, Miss Cheltenham?
Miss who?
Oh, that would be jolly, of course, of course. I should be happy to discuss the matter. Oh, rather. Yes, I could carry on till you get here. Tip-tip.
You keep carrying on like that, and I'll get the tip myself. Who's Miss Cheltenham?
She's an agent, a literary agent. She's going to sell my book. Ain't that wonderful?
How'd she ever hear about you through a Ouija board?
All the word gets about these things. Hey, I got to get busy. Now, don't let anybody bother me. Lock the door. This may mean millions.
Yeah, but how are you getting Lieutenant Fragwell out of the cistern?
Easy. I just start the next chapter by saying, what? Safely out of the cistern. Fragwell made his way to the nearest Barumba.
What's a barumba?
That's an Abyssinian word meaning railroad.
Do the Abyssinians know that?
They will when they read the book. Now, remember, Molly, I got to work fast. I ain't home to anybody. If the door bell rings, don't tell them.
I'm afraid Lieutenant Barumba will have to wait in the Fragwell for a minute, dear. Come in.
Hello there, kids. What you doing? I'm trying to write a book if I can get some peace and quiet around here.
Well, you go right ahead, Johnny. Me and Dory won't let anybody bother you.
Fine.
Tried to be a storybook writer once myself, but the grammar got me.
Oh.
Teacher says I didn't know a subject from a pelican.
You mean a predicate?
I do? And a predicate, one of them little salty crackers that you get with a glass of beer?
That's a pretzel.
Well, they're dangerous things. Grandpa had one go off right in his face once. Didn't know it was loaded. It was an old horse pretzel that he had.
Now, wait a minute. Don't you mean horse pistol?
I sure do, Doris. Grandpa was in the horse pistol for 3 weeks. The day nurse and night nurse.
That's a hospital.
Yes, sir. Most hospital folks Grandpa ever lived with.
I think you mean they were hospitable.
No, they took his chewing tobacco away from him when he went in. Grandpa always said...
Look, old timer, look. Can't you stop changing the subject?
No, I can't, Johnny. Teacher always told me I couldn't tell a subject from a pelican.
Listen, but you don't mean pelican.
Why don't I?
Because a pelican is a big bird.
You're telling me, Johnny. Teacher gave me a bird so big it blew me out of school and never went back. Well, I won't bother you, Johnny. So long, Doris.
All right, Earl Stanley McStuff. You go to work on your masterpiece, and I'll stand here and guard the door like Voracious at the bridge.
You mean Horacious. Voracious means having a big appetite.
Well, this whole thing is strictly from hunger. You get busy, and
Hello, folks. Am I intruding?
Frankly, old chap, yes, you are. I say, old fellow, would you mind frightfully old radish if I asked you to stop by another time? That's a good fellow.
What's the matter with him, Molly? Did he fall asleep in a Ronald Coleman movie?
He's writing a book, Mr. Wilcox. He thinks that phony Piccadilly accent gives him a certain air.
It does. Why don't you open a window?
Oh, now I say, old groom.
You sound like some dentist that just fitted you with a London Bridge.
Molly, what's this about him writing a book?
Well, let me tell you about it, Junior. You see, my hero, Lieutenant Fragwell of the Navy.
The Navy?
Yeah.
Hey, could you say something about battleship, linoleum, and then sneak in a few words about Johnson's blow coat?
This is a novel, Wilcox, not an advertising folder. Anyway, he falls in love with a girl named Maisie Lapoon because she reminded him of his mother.
And you remind me of my mother.
Oh. McGee reminds you of your mother, Miss Wilcox?
Yes, when he's happy and excited like this, he acts just like my mother used to when she was telling somebody about Glowcoat. How easy it was to use, now it shines as it dries.
Are you going to let me tell about my book?
Oh, excuse me, go ahead.
Well, just as Fragwell and Maisie are on their way to the house to get married, up comes a messenger in a cloud of dust.
So, what's a little dust? With Johnson's Glowcoat breaking off right up to the damn clock. And anyway, Glowcoat's the same.
You better let him go on, Miss Wilcox. He's turning green.
Oh, pardon me. Well, then what, Fibber?
It's a message for Lieutenant Fragwell to report for duty. The marriage is off. He's been called back into the service.
Well, the surface is an important thing. If you protect the surface of your linoleum against dirt and wear, it'll almost last forever because Glowcoat is the
I didn't say surface. I say service. D-E-R-V-I-S-E. You see, Fragwell is a West Pointer.
Now, hold on. Wait a minute, McGee. If Lieutenant Fragwell was in the Navy, why did he go to West Point?
Wouldn't Hitler like to know that? Military secrets. Hey, where are you going, Junior?
Don't you want to hear the finish, Miss Wilcox?
No, I don't think I do, Molly. You see, I'm so used to sparkling, gleaming, immaculate wax coating that Johnson's Glowcoat gives, it spoiled me for inferior finishes.
Oh.
Well, I'll see you again.
Of all the unappreciated inferior finishes my clavicle, I tell you, the ending of my book has got a wallop that'll tear your heart out.
Well, what is it?
I don't dare tell. But get this, Molly. After the book ends, I'm inserting 3 pages of crossword puzzle.
Oh.
Just to give the readers a chance to calm down. This book has got such a smash climax that I don't want to be responsible for people going hayseed.
You mean Haywire?
I thought Haywire was a movie actor.
That's Hayward.
What is Haywire?
Buy the bail?
I'll buy the bail if it's cheap.
Oh, Pop.
What are we talking?
Come in, thank goodness.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry, sis. Whatever it is, we don't want any. We got all the linens we need. And if it's magazines, you're wasting your time because
Are you Mr. McGee?
Yes, I am, sis. And let me tell you again.
I am Virginia Cheltenham, the literary agent.
Oh, gee, if I don't even... Oh, my God.
Got caught with your accent down, didn't you, dear? Come in, Miss Virginia Ham.
Cheltenham. Virginia Cheltenham. I suppose you're a mighty proud girl to have a father who could write a book.
Yes, my father. I'm her mother. Oh, excuse me. Miss Cheltenham, my wife, Molly.
How do you do, I'm sure.
Your wife? Oh, how splendid. Let me tell you something about myself, Mr. McGee. I am a literary agent of long standing.
Have a chair, Kel?
I beg your pardon? Oh, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. McGee, are you familiar with serial rights, motion picture rights, dramatic rights, foreign translations, and the other 100 things regarding which a busy author must protect himself?
Heavenly days. When I thought an author just wrote a book and took his money and boom, that was that.
No, I never knew there was so much to it, Miss sis.
Well, they are all very important. I was having tea one afternoon with, let me see. There was Red and Jack and Elle and Ernie.
Who are they?
Red, that's Red Lewis, of course. Sinclair Lewis, you know.
Oh, yes. I read his book, Aerosmith. Yeah. Disappointed, though. No Indians in it. Who are them other guys?
That's Ellery Queen, Ernie Hemingway, and Jack Steinbeck.
Did you ever do any business with Charlie and Vic?
Who, Mrs. McGee?
Charlie and Vic? You know, Charlie Dickens and Vic Hugo?
Okay. Well, Miss Cheltenham, now here's about my book. This Lieutenant Fragwell...
I shall want to read the manuscript myself, Mr. McGee.
Oh,
May I?
pardon me. I got 3 chapters to go.
Well, I'll take it as is. A manuscript needn't necessarily be complete to make a sale, you know.
Oh, swell. Well, this Lieutenant Fragwell...
Now, my usual business procedure is this, Mr. McGee.
Yes?
I take full responsibility for the promotion and sale of all rights in your literary work.
Oh, I see.
King's men sing and still the Volga flows.
Still the Volga flows through silent valleys and the splendid sing again. When every field and plain is bearing golden grain, then every voice will rejoice in spring again. And still she rolls along, the mighty, mighty and the truth and the right. When peace has cleared the sky. Don't black and then we'll lift again the heads of shining grace. And hearts will have no pain to remember, but now the memory is to the city and the meadow will
took the manuscript with her?
Yeah, and you know what? First she's going to sell it to maybe a magazine like the Red Book or maybe Time Magazine.
Time Magazine doesn't run novels.
Well, she says they will when they see this one. It's going to make history, she says. And then she says she'll sell it to maybe Random House as a book. You know, then they printed that book, I Lost My Daughters.
Oh, I Lost My Daughters. I don't remember that book.
Oh, well, maybe that wasn't exactly... Oh, no, it was the last time I saw Paris. Then she'll have to dramatize into a Broadway play and then sell it to the movies. Why, gee, where's Renard? Hey, maybe that's a messenger with a check from some publisher. Maybe $1,000.
Now, don't start counting your chickens just because you've laid an egg, dearie. Well, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Hi, Wimple, old man. How's everything? Have a cigar. Take two. I'm getting some better ones anyway.
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. McGee. My wife doesn't permit me to smoke.
Oh, not at all, Mr. Wimple?
Not at all, Mrs. McGee. She thinks, anyway. But I fool her sometimes.
You do, eh?
Yeah. Maybe when you have corn on the cob next summer, you'll save me the corn syrup.
You smoke corn syrup?
Yes. But don't look so shocked, Mrs. McGee. I don't inhale. But why are you wearing that green eye shade, Mr. McGee?
I've been writing a book, Link. Gonna make me a fortune, too. I'll send you autographed copies. I do the light-hearted, gay, sophisticated stuff, like Somersault Maugham.
Somerset?
Yeah, I know. Some are a little set, but I ain't. I can write like Somersault Maugham or anybody else.
Oh, that's the sort of thing I always wanted to write before I turned to free verse.
Incidentally, Mr. Wimple, why did they call it free verse?
Did you ever try to sell any of it?
Oh, no, I never have.
You ever do any serious writing, Link? You know, I might be able to give you a few pointers. Spot motivation and all stuff like that there.
Oh, I did do one short story, Mr. McGee, when I was single.
Mm-hmm.
I called it The Dreaming.
Oh, yeah.
Then I wrote a sequel to it after City Face, and I renewed it.
Oh. What was the title of that?
The Awakening.
You know, Mr. Wimple, you don't look very well. Have you been ill?
Oh, no, Mrs. McGee, I'm doing quite... Oh, I guess you didn't hear about my terrible experience.
What was that, Wallace?
You know that horrible rainstorm we had last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was nearly drowned. I must have swallowed 5 gallons of water.
Well, don't you know enough to come in out of the rain, Link?
Oh, I was in, Mr. McGee.
Oh.
I didn't stir one little tippy toe outdoors all evening.
Well, then how did you swallow all that water?
Well, I see him started to leak like everything, and City Face said, "Oh, Wallace, what'll I do?" And I said, "Put a pan under it, silly." And she did. Mine.
Well, that was a dirty trick, Link. One of these days, that woman is going to go too far.
Yes, and I hope she stays there.
Hey, Ma, you know what I'm going to do with the first $50,000 I make off my book? I'm going to buy...
Tell me later, dearie. I've got to take these tea things out.
You wait, Molly. One of these days you'll look back and wonder how we can live in a dump like this. There's a little woman that's going to have a dozen pairs of silk stockings if I have to stand over those silkworms with a horsewhip. Yes, sir. You don't. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, little girl. Did you hear about my book? I said, did you hear about my book?
You got a book?
What do you mean if I got a book? I just wrote one. I'm an author.
Your mother what?
Not another anything. I says I'm an author. I wrote a book about a young naval lieutenant named Fagwell who falls in love with a girl.
Now, see, what do you think he'd fall in love with a horse?
Don't be so fresh, kid. Remember, a hairbrush ain't exactly obsolete as part of a child's education.
I don't guess.
One more smart crack and you will.
Oh.
Now, look, haven't you got any place to go over here?
Sure. I gotta go down to the bonfire department store and turn these fiddling.
What's the matter with him?
Too much fiddling and not enough wings.
Well, look, let me tell you more about my book. You see this Lieutenant Fagwell?
On your picture, Mr. Case, anything more you pay?
Oh, I'm sorry, sis. I used up all the paper writing my book. I think.
Well, down on the back of this piece of paper, Mr.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first I'll draw up.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd you get this piece of paper? This is part of my book.
I found it.
What?
It was in that green box down by the corner, you know, the one that says, "Let's keep our city clean." It says 4 papers like this, mister.
It's 4 papers? My book is stuffed into a trash can? Oh, no. You're kidding, ain't you, sis? Tell me you're kidding.
You want to get that hairbrush?
No, this is terrible. Hey, Molly.
I heard the whole thing, McGee.
No, this is all a mistake. Where's that agent's phone number? I'll call her.
I already called it, and there isn't any such number. You better go home, little girl.
Yeah, beat it, sis. I'll see you later.
Okay, mister.
Oh, boy.
I knew that woman was no good. Who, me?
No. Not you, sis.
Oh, get it. Goodbye.
Oh. All that works for nothing. My
How much money did she take you for, McGee?
Well, gee whiz, she sounded
How
legitimate.
much did she get?
Well, she asked me for $500 to promote the book, advertising and stuff.
How much did you give her?
Then she come down to $250, and I said,
How much did she get?
I had $27.75.
Oh, what a fool I did. Well, it was a pretty cheap lesson at that. Huh? Now forget it and tell me what you want for supper.
Oh, am I ever the chump of you?
Yes, dearie, I know. But what do you want for supper?
Put some oats in a pail.
What?
Yeah. As long as I made a jackass out of myself, I might as well eat like one.
An increase in neighborliness in recent months. With less driving around, there's more visiting back and forth. I'm sure that in many homes tonight, friends and neighbors are sitting around listening to this program together. The makers of Johnson's Wax are glad they can bring Fibber and Molly into your home. And they want me to thank you again for your continued loyalty to all Johnson's Wax products. All of us on the show are happy to be working for a company whose products are so helpful in these times. The regular use of Johnson's Wax protects your floors, furniture, and woodwork at a time when conservation is so vital. It saves you many hours of work when manpower and womanpower are so important. And besides, it makes your home more beautiful and more sanitary because a waxed home is a clean home.
Say, old girl, this has been quite a day, eh? What? Jolly old novel gone up the spout and all that.
Oh, stop it.
No?
You sound like a bundle from Britain delivered by mistake.
Oh, I don't get it, old girl.
You keep calling me old girl and you'll get it all right.
Tally-ho.
Good night, Howard.
The characters of the old-timer and Wallace Wimple heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, quite likely, a lot of you have been wondering about margarine lately, wondering what it's made of, what it tastes like, whether it's really nutritious. Of course, I'm not qualified to speak for all margarines, but I can tell you about Parquet margarine, the delicious, nutritious spread for bread made by Kraft. Parquet is a wholesome vegetable margarine made from selected American farm products in Kraft's spick and span modern plants. And as for flavor, well, Parquet margarine is made by Kraft to the same high standards of flavor and quality as all of Kraft's fine foods. Parquet's flavor is really outstanding. It's known, you see, as the margarine that tastes so deliciously good. Now, how about food value? Parquet margarine is a wholesome, nourishing food, one of the best energy foods you can serve. And every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So with these facts in mind, ask your dealer tomorrow for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Well, now let's see what's happening with the Great Gildersleeve. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the great man is just arriving home. He's a little early this afternoon, since big things are afoot. And as he enters the house, he finds Marjorie and Leroy in the parlor.
Well, happy little family. You're looking very pretty, my dear.
Thank you, Uncle Mort.
So are you, Leroy.
Yeah.
Mr. Gildersleeve, Miss Anson just phoned. She wants you to come right over.
Oh, well, I'm going right over, Bertie. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What's going on over there, Unc? Everybody's invited but me.
Well, it's not exactly a party, Leroy. It's a committee meeting. We're going to raise some money to buy the town a new fire engine.
A new fire engine?
Yeah, the old one's got no pumping power, and besides, it never gets to the fire till a half an hour too late.
Oh, that's not on account of the engine, Uncle Mort. It's on account of the driver.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Well, Charlie Prentice drives the fire engine, and Charlie is nuts about a girl who lives way out on Lincoln Avenue.
Well, what of it?
Well, every time they go to a fire, Charlie drives past her house no matter where the fire is.
I don't believe that, Leroy.
Well, you can ask anybody. When they go past the house, he waves at her and she waves back at him. Unless the old man's home.
Yep. Leroy, I'm sure that story is nonsense, but I'll look into it. We'll have no 3-alarm courtships in this town if I can help it. Are you all ready to go, Marjorie?
Yes, I'm ready.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, but are you going to be out for supper?
No, Bertie. I'll be back for supper.
He's just going over there to buy a fire engine.
Oh, you go along, Leroy.
He isn't joking, Bertie. I am going to buy a fire engine.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you can't keep a fire engine in your garage.
I'm not going to buy it for myself, Bertie. The town of Summerfield's going to buy it. I'm just a member of a committee to raise the money.
Oh. What do a fire engine cost, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, another committee is looking into that. I'd guess around $1,000.
My. Do that include the tires?
Yes, that's with everything.
How are you going to raise $1,000, Unc?
We're going to put on some kind of entertainment.
Oh, amateur night.
Well, I don't know what kind of a thing it'll be exactly, but I suppose they'll be after me to play a prominent part.
Is Judge Hooker going to be in it, too?
Hooker? What can he do? Send petty crooks up for 30 days? That's not entertainment, my boy.
No. Have you ever heard him recite the Children's Hour?
No.
He does.
Yeah. Well, he won't do it in this show. Oh, my goodness, I gotta go. Maybe I can help Leila get a few things ready.
Shall I come now, too, Uncle Mort?
Suppose you just wait till you see someone else coming, then you come over, huh? You see, I haven't seen Leila at all today.
I get it.
Leroy.
Everybody gets it, Uncle Mort. You go on, and I'll be over in a few minutes.
Oh, well, who said a man is only young once?
How do I look? Throckmorton, I was afraid it was some of the others.
Am I early? I hope.
Well, there's nobody else here yet, if that's what you mean.
Oh, good.
You know, I'm so excited. I love giving tea parties, don't you? Now, let's see, there'll be Marjorie and Judge Hooker and Dr. Pettibone and Mrs. Pettibone.
Yeah, why does Hooker have to ring her in for? She always wants to run everything. But this is one show Mrs. Pettibone's not going to run.
Well, I hope we'll get to play opposite each other, Throckmorton. Wouldn't that be romantic?
We will. Either they make you my leading lady or I don't accept the part.
And I hope it will be a costume play.
Well, I think something with a little singing in it would go well.
You know, I have this perfectly gorgeous costume. It was my great-grandmother Winfield's wedding gown with a hoop skirt and no shoulders and all.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
I wore it in a performance we gave down in Savannah, and it was a tremendous success. The gown, I mean. The entertainment lost money, but the boll weevil was bad that year.
Well, the gown is in, definitely.
Gracious, here I am rambling on, and I've got biscuits in the oven. I'll have to ask you to excuse me for a moment, Throckmorton.
Don't get nervous. Let me come and help you.
Oh, goodness, no. You sit down, and I'll be right back.
Oh, no, let me help.
Oh, the kitchen is a mess. And I must apologize for the way I look. I'm a perfect fright in this old apron and all.
That's the cutest apron I ever saw in my life. Ruffles.
Oh, gracious, it's just an old thing I had around the house. And I'm afraid I'll probably have flour on my nose.
You're adorable with flour on your nose.
Have I? Where?
Want me to show you?
Please.
Right there.
Oh, my goodness. The oven, Throckmorton, let me go. It's probably burned.
Oh, let it burn.
Well, if you want to help me here, you'll have to help. Otherwise, I shall have to banish you to the parlor.
Well, just tell me what to do.
Well, first, stop interfering with the cook.
I make no promises.
Well, for wonder, the biscuits are not ruined. I'll give them a few minutes more.
Leela, this is kind of fun, isn't it?
Watching the biscuits?
No. Being here in the kitchen together. You know what I'm pretending?
What, Throckmorton?
I'm pretending it's our kitchen.
Oh, let's do that. Let's play house.
Yes, let's.
Now, first you must put on an apron, darling, so you won't spoil your nice new suit. Here, I'll get you one of mine.
Well, your apron would never fit me.
We'll try it. Now, stand still. Why, the strings won't even meet and bind.
I told you.
Are you so big or am I so small?
It's you, honey. You're no bigger than a minute.
Oh, why, that just isn't so, Throckmorton. Though, of course, my great-grandmother Winfield was famous for her tiny waist, and I can get her wedding gown on without any trouble, hardly.
Yeah. I'll bet I can get my hands around your waist.
Now. Gonna have to send you to the parlor. Throckmorton, do me a great favor, will you?
Anything for you.
Get me a can of anchovies. That's a lime. You'll find them in the pantry closet.
Where in the closet?
On about the third shelf, I think, toward the back.
Oh! What is this, Fibber McGee's closet?
Throckmorton, did you hurt yourself?
Oh, no, I just got hit on the head with a load of canned goods, that's all. Leela, what is all this? You've got enough canned stuff in there to start a grocery. What's the idea?
Well, maybe you'll think it's silly of me, Throckmorton, but I call that my hope chest.
But, Leela...
Well, you see, I have this little man down at the Supreme Market, and he's just as nice. Every now and then he slips me an extra can of something, and I just put it away here for when we're married.
But, Leela, that's hoarding.
I'm not hoarding, Throckmorton. I'm just saving up.
If you can tell me the difference between that and hoarding, it's unpatriotic, Leela.
Are you implying that I'm unpatriotic, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, you don't mean to be.
You might be interested to know that I had a grandfather who was a general.
He's probably turning over in his grave right now, then. The Army needs the food, Leela. That's why it's a crime to buy any more than you need.
Oh, so I'm a criminal now.
Well, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. I scrimp and save to make everything nice for you, and this is the kind of thanks I get. This is the way you play house.
Oh, brother, what a start for a tea party.
Mrs. Pettibone?
Oh, thank you, Marjorie.
Well, if you ask me, I think what we ought to do is give a concert. After all, we have some very fine talent here in Summerfield. Mrs. Ransom plays the piano beautifully.
Oh, Throckmorton.
You do. And I'm told that our friend Peavy here is a real artist on the flute.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I haven't played since the town band broke up, and then it was a piccolo.
Oh, well, that's all right. You can practice up, Peavy. Then there's Dr. Pettibone here. I'm sure he has his musical side. How about it, Doctor?
Oh, I'm a wizard with the saw.
You see, folks, we have a wealth of musical talent present. And, of course, I can always sing if necessary.
I don't think it'll be necessary.
What do you mean, Hooker?
Well, you're charging admission for this. You've got to give them something for their money.
I know, a costume drama.
Yes. Now, I recall a performance we gave some years ago of A Tale of Two Cities, in which I happened to play the part of Sidney Carton. It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known.
That is a far, far worse performance than I've ever heard.
Well, it's better than your singing.
Why don't we have a minstrel show? I'll be down to get you in the taxi, honey. Yes, love.
Let's agree on one thing, shall we, everyone? There will be no singing.
Yes.
I'm for that.
If there's anything worse than an amateur baritone, I don't know what it is.
Well, now, just a minute, Mrs. Pettibone.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, but while I have the floor, I should also like to say that I don't think we're going to accomplish anything at this meeting unless we organize.
Organize?
Yes. I think we should have a chairman.
I nominate Mrs. Pettibone.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Judge Hooker. But I'm afraid with my many other duties, the women's club and so on, all in favor, aye. Opposed? Nobody? Well, I guess I have nothing to say about it then.
Hooker,
I suppose my first act should be to appoint a secretary. And for that, I think we should choose one of our non-performing members. Mr. Peavy.
He plays the piccolo.
Nevertheless, I shall appoint Mr. Peavy.
But I've never been a secretary before, Mrs. Pettibone.
All you have to do is write down the minutes. Give him a pencil and paper, somebody. Now, there arises the question of what type of entertainment we're going to give.
Chairman asked what type of entertainment.
I think we ought to give them a good drama, like A Tale of Two Cities.
Why don't we give them something more popular? Something that's been on Broadway. Oh, I think a costume play would be
I still think we ought to do something musical.
Just a moment. Would you repeat those suggestions, please, for the minute?
Yes.
Never mind, Mr. Peavy. As chairman, I think I can settle this very quickly. It happens that I have a play which I wrote myself that I think would be perfect.
Chairman suggested own play.
Is there any singing in it, Mrs. Pettibone?
No.
Oh.
Gildersleeve wants to sing.
But I'm sure you'll like the story, Mr. Gildersleeve. It's about this terribly attractive man. He comes home from Paris and runs into this sweet young thing.
Oh, Leila.
And they fall madly in love.
Oh, sounds very interesting. Go on.
Would you repeat that, please, for the minute?
Later, Mr. Peavy. I won't tell you the whole plot now, but it's a wonderful part for the right man.
Oh, great.
And I think it would be perfect for Judge Hooker.
Yeah, Hooker? I thought this was supposed to be a romantic part.
Well, whom would you suggest, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, I wouldn't want to suggest anybody, but there must be 2 or 3 people here who could do better than the part than Hooker. 2, anyway. Or 1, at least.
Would you repeat that, please, for the minute?
Oh, never mind.
Don't tell me you think you could play the part, Gildy.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Can you imagine Gildersleeve as a lover?
Why, Gildersleeve, you're 60 pounds overweight. I told you 6 months ago, keep eating those starches, you'll bust those arches. Nobody loves a fat man, you know that.
Leila, do you agree with that?
Well, no, Throckmorton, of course not. But I do think they've got a point.
Oh, you too, eh?
Oh, now, don't take it so personally, Throckmorton. After all, your waistline is something you just can't get around.
Very good. Gildersleeve's waistline is something you can't get around.
Wait a minute. I don't see that that's so very funny.
Now, Marjorie.
My uncle may be a little big, but I'd rather be big like him than small and mean like all of you.
Never mind, my dear. let you and I go home.
And he can sing, too.
Gildersleeve, you're acting like a spoiled baby.
Really, Mr. Gildersleeve, I must say.
Throckmorton, in my own house, I think you might show a little more consideration.
I'll show you some consideration. I'm going home. But before I go, I want to say that for a bunch of ignorant, incompetent, stupid people, this committee takes the cake.
Would someone repeat that, please, for the minute?
The Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few seconds. You know, that nursery rhyme about Old Mother Hubbard and her bare cupboard has a pretty up-to-the-minute ring to it these days. Because many of you are finding, I suppose, that favorite food products are sometimes missing from your grocer's shelves. Take the case of Parquet margarine, for example, Kraft's delicious spread for bread. Even though Kraft is doing everything possible to keep dealers supplied, some dealers just can't keep up with the ever-increasing demand. That's because more people are asking for Parquet margarine than ever before. They've discovered how deliciously good Parquet is, how nutritious it is, too. Of course, maybe you've been lucky. Maybe your dealer has always had enough Parquet to go around. But with a war on, it's wise to watch your dealer's stocks and buy Parquet whenever you can. Remember, besides being an excellent energy food, Parquet margarine is a reliable year-round source of important vitamin A. So always watch for, always ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now let's get back to the Great Gildersleeve and his campaign to provide Summerfield with a new fire engine. Several days have passed. He's still on the outs with Mrs. Pettibone and her committee, but in the bosom of his family we find him his old genial self.
Bertie, you're a queen. I'll bet there's not another cook in the country who can make coffee cake like this.
Oh, I didn't make that, Mr. Gildersleeve. Miss Ransom sent it over.
Oh, well, now, isn't that nice of her?
Like another piece, Mr. Gildersleeve?
No. And if you see me reaching for one, take it away from me. I'm reducing.
Reducing? What's come over you, Unc?
Well, nothing. What's so strange about my reducing?
Can a leopard change his spots?
Huh?
Can the hippo change his potamus?
Leroy, that's not very nice.
Well, let the boy speak his mind, my dear. I seem to be fair game for everybody else. I don't know why my own nephew shouldn't pass a few remarks.
There. I thought those people were very rude making fun of you the other night. Leroy should have better manners.
Well, I may have flown off the handle a little myself, Marjorie. If the truth be known, I am a trifle overweight just at present.
Yeah, you're really filling out there, Unc.
All right, that's enough.
You're developing quite a rotunda.
Yep. Leroy, that'll be quite sufficient.
I've been noticing it too, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You too, Bertie?
Yes, sir. The last few weeks you've been busting all the buttons off your pajamas.
Yes. Well, I think I'll drop a pound or two and get back into fighting trim.
A pound or two, he says. Say, here comes Judge Hooker.
Oh, Judge Hooker, eh? Coming around now, huh? They'll all be coming around now, I suppose.
Now, Uncle Mort, be nice to him. I know he must feel terrible about the other evening.
Well, he'll have to be a little nice to me first.
I'll go. Hi, Judge.
Morning, Leroy. I haven't seen you for some time.
Well, anytime you want to see me, I'm right here.
Marjorie, you're looking very charming this morning.
Thank you.
Bertie, how are you?
Just fine, Judge, just fine.
Got all over that, whatever it was?
Oh, yes. I had a little misery last night, but it's gone now.
That's good. Well, Gildy.
Well, Judge, I suppose you've come here to apologize.
Well, we talked it over.
You can forget about what happened the other night. I've already dismissed it from my mind, and you with it.
Now, Gildersleeve, don't be a sorehead.
Listen, is that any way to apologize?
Gildersleeve, you don't deserve an apology. But the unfortunate fact is we can't get along without you. If we're going to get anywhere with this project, we've got to have you in on it.
Uncle Mort, I think you ought to.
Well, I'm willing to go halfway with you, Judge.
Well, we'll go the other half.
All right. Who gets the lead in the play?
Well, now, Gildy, we went into all that the other night.
So I remember.
Let's face it, old man, if you don't fit the part...
Who says I don't fit the part?
Well, Mrs. Pettibone wrote the play. She ought to know.
Pettibone?
We're having another meeting at her house, and if you just come around, I'm sure...
Hooker, I wouldn't go near Mrs. Pettibone's house if it were the last house on earth. And you can tell her so.
Gildersleeve, you're just being bullheaded.
Out of my way. I'm due down at the office. I'm a busy man, Hooker. I haven't got any time for charade.
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Mrs. Pettibone.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Gildersleeve.
She's been laying for me. Oh, hello, Mrs. Pettibone.
Oh, you've been avoiding me, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, no, I haven't. I've been busy.
Oh, yes, you have. But you know, I don't blame you. A man in your position must have so many things on his mind.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have. Now, today I have to see a man at 11, and then I have to see another man at 11:30.
Oh, think of that. Well, I hate to impose on you when you're so frightfully busy, but we're having another meeting tonight at my house, and I really feel that the water department should be represented. It's such a worthy cause.
Well, as you know, Mrs. Pettibone, the fire engine is very close to my heart.
Frankly, Mr. Gildersleeve, I don't see how we could accomplish anything without you.
There's always Judge Hooker.
Oh, you know, Judge Hooker is a dear old thing. But then he is old, and he tends to forget things. And he dawdles. Now, one thing I'll say for you, Mr. Gildersleeve, you're not a dawdler. You're a doer.
Well, I've always prided myself on getting things done.
Exactly the kind of man we need, the executive type. Oh, the world is so full of dreamers, isn't it? And there are so few of us who really get things done. Oh, dear, the world. What are we going to do about it? See you at 8 o'clock tonight.
But wait a minute.
I'm simply thrilled that you can come. Oh, and be sure to bring Mrs. Ransom. I think she's so sweet. I told her you'd call for her.
But...
I'm so glad I ran into you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, this is going to be one of my bad nights.
Any moment now, Mr. Gildersleeve will be arriving. We are very happy to have him back with us, and let's show him we are, shall we?
Well, I don't know why not.
How shall we do that, Mrs. Pettibone?
Well, that's a very good question, Mr. Peavy. Well, in the first place, none of us think Mr. Gildersleeve is fat anymore, do we?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, don't be so literal, Peavy. He means nobody should make any remarks about his figure.
And one more thing. Remember that Mr. Gildersleeve is not completely won over yet. The question of the play remains a delicate point, and I suggest you let me handle that.
Shall I go, love?
Will you, love?
Yes, love.
Now, we're all clear on everything?
Oh, yes.
Well, of all people, Gildersleeve and Mrs. Ransom. Gildersleeve, I never saw you looking better. Mrs. Ransom, you look like $1 million.
Oh, now, don't. Oh, I should have gone myself. Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'm so glad to see you. And Mrs. Ransom.
Good evening, Mrs. Pettibone.
Mrs. Pettibone, I want to make one thing clear to your committee. I'm only here because I believe in fire engines.
Oh, so public-spirited. I quite understand, Mr. Gildersleeve, and believe me, all of us appreciate your generosity.
Good evening, Throckmorton. Leila, glad to see you.
Good evening, Judge.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. You've lost a little flesh, haven't you?
I don't really know, Peavy. I fluctuate, of course.
Mr. Gildersleeve, Mrs. Ransom, won't you sit down, please?
Thank you.
Now, as you all know, we've made quite a little progress in planning our entertainment. And I would like to call on the chairman of the different committees to make their reports. Let me see now, Judge Hooker. I believe you were the auditorium committee.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very happy to report that we've been offered the Elks Hall for the night of the show.
Will it cost us anything?
No, but we'll have to let the Elks in at half price.
Oh, thank you, Judge. Isn't that splendid, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Just fine, Mrs. Pettibone. Congratulations, Judge.
Mrs. Pettibone, can I make my report now?
Mr. Peavy, if you don't mind, I'll call on my husband first. I know he has some very good news for us on the ticket situation. Speak up, love.
Well, Fred Rosenoff is going to print the tickets for us. And if they're all sold, that'll bring in almost $1,500.
Oh, I think that's marvelous, Dr. Pettibone. That's an awful lot of money.
Of course, so far we haven't sold any.
Is Rosenoff charging us to print the tickets?
Oh, no. He has a bad gallbladder I'm looking at.
Could I make my report now, please?
Just a minute, Peavy. Mrs. Pettibone, I'd like to say a few words.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve will be so pleased, won't we?
Of course, Gildy.
Thank you. Would just like to say that I think the committee has done a wonderful job, and I'm proud to be associated with the committee. That's all.
Mrs. Pettibone, I'd like to have some idea about the show.
Oh, of course, my dear. One thing I meant to tell you. We have a wonderful part for you in which you simply must wear that lovely dress you were telling me about.
Oh, now, isn't that thrilling, Throckmorton? You hear?
That's fine,
Oh,
Lila.
may I say at this time how pleased I am that we've all forgotten our little differences. And I'm sure we're all going to put our shoulders to the wheel and all pull together. Mr. Gildersleeve, there's just one thing now that would make the evening perfect.
What's that, Mrs. Pettibone?
I've never heard you sing. Won't you favor us with a selection?
My golly, she stops at nothing.
Now, Mrs. Pettibone, I told you I'm much too busy to take part in the entertainment.
But just for our pleasure this evening, Mr. Gildersleeve. Please, I'm told you really have a golden voice.
Well, I used to do quite a bit of singing in my younger days.
Oh, he sings beautifully. Do sing, Throckmorton.
Will you play for me, Leila?
I'd love to.
Well, what shall it be? Something short?
How about drink to me only with thine eyes?
Nothing for me, thanks.
Quiet now.
Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge with mine. Or leave a kiss within the cup, and I'll not ask for wine. The thirst that from the soul doth rise, doth ask a drink divine. But might I of the Jove's nectar sip, I would not change for thine.
How magnificent.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, simply thrilling, and it's given me a perfectly marvelous idea for my play.
Oh, it has?
Yes, a twist to the story, where a famous opera star comes to this little town where the heroine lives. That's Mrs. Ransom.
Oh.
And of course, when she hears him sing, she falls head over heels in love with him.
Naturally.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you've got to play the part.
Oh, no.
No, please, remember our cause, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, for the sake of the fire engine, all right.
Oh, splendid.
That's fine,
Oh,
Gildy.
that's wonderful. I'm so happy. I just know the play is going to be a tremendous success.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll take in enough money to buy 2 fire engines.
Mrs. Pettibone, could I make my committee report now, please?
Oh, of course, Mr. Peavy. I'm terribly sorry. Just what was your committee?
The fire engine committee.
Oh, yes. And the report?
There won't be any fire engines for sale until after the war.
Well, there's been a lot of kidding around here about Gildersleeve's stomach, but I guess we're all a little concerned about our stomachs these days and what we're going to put in them. They tell me the Army's going to need half of our processed foods this year, which leaves just half as much for you and me as we've been accustomed to. That's why they're going to put in this point rationing system. There'll be a lot of jokes about rationing. I hope I get my share of them. But when you come right down to it, rationing is the only fair way of distributing the food that's available. It gives women with war jobs the same chance as those who can spend the whole day shopping around from market to market. And the poor man will get just as much as the rich man. It's the only fair and democratic way of handling it. Another thing, you hear a lot of vague talk about how much of our food has been going to our allies on Lend-Lease. We looked into that, and do you know how much of our food all our allies got last year? Only 7.5%. And if that contributed even a little to what the Russians are doing to the Nazis right now, brother, it was cheap. Good night, everybody.
Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, inviting you to listen again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Have you discovered the speedy way to make swell macaroni and cheese? These days, clever women prepare that favorite main dish without any fuss of making a cheese sauce, without any bother with blanching and baking the macaroni. They simply open up a package of the product called Kraft Dinner. They cook the special Kraft Dinner macaroni quickly in boiling water. And with the Kraft Grated, which also comes in each Kraft Dinner package, they sprinkle the cheese flavor through and through. Presto, the dinner main dish is ready in only 7 minutes cooking time, and the cost is only a very few cents a serving. But the best part of it is Kraft Dinner Macaroni and Cheese is extra special good, fluffy, light, and drenched in cheese flavor. When good cooks discover the 7-minute way of making macaroni and cheese, they say never again to the old-fashioned slow method. Of course, Kraft Dinner is extra popular these days. You can help your dealer with his problem of keeping stocked by ordering your Kraft Dinner early in the week. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat presents Fibber, McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Stop to think, with all the millions of pounds of goods that are being shipped to our armed forces, what a job it must be to package all of these items, wrap them securely so the salt air and moisture can't get to them. Many things now have to be wrapped in paper or cardboard to save metal. Do you know what is helping greatly to make these cartons moisture and weatherproof? Wax. Yes, special wax preparations have been developed by the makers of Johnson's Wax. And countless thousands of these cartons are actually dipped in this wax, completely immersed in a wax bath that impregnates the paper boards and acts as a seal against air and moisture. These special Johnson carton sealing waxes are already in use for food containers and soldiers' ration kits, for cartons containing small arms ammunition, small machinery and automobile parts, surgical instruments. Almost every week, new uses are found for them. And any manufacturer with a carton sealing problem is invited to write immediately for full information to S.C. Johnson & Son, Racine, Wisconsin, or Brantford, Canada. Wanted one family-sized skeleton for closet to replace 2 tons of accumulated junk. Apply at 79 Wistful Vista to Fibber, McGee and Molly.
McGee, now you've been promising and promising. You've simply got to clean out that hall closet.
Haven't I got time just to finish the crossword puzzle?
How far have you got with it?
Oh, I ain't started yet. There ought to be one in these old newspapers somewhere.
McGee, you're falling again. Why do you dread it so much?
On account of my fingernails. Look at them. They haven't been trimmed in weeks. I'll bet I could run up a tree like a cat.
What's that got to do with cleaning out the closet?
Because I can't find my nail clippers, and I think they're in the closet. And if I open the closet, I'll find them. And every time I use them, I cut my fingers.
Oh, my. Well, you can think up more far-fetched excuses. Hitler ought to hire you to tell his people about Russia. Now, come on, get busy. I'll get it. Hello? Who? Yes, I'll take the order.
You take order for what?
Just a minute now, I'll write that down. Yes, 3 pounds of bacon sliced thin. 7 pound rib roast to beef.
Hey, what?
How about some nice pork chops?
You take it in there.
About 6? All right. And a pound of butter?
No.
Oh. Yes, indeed. No, don't use up your gasoline. New delivered first thing in the morning. Don't mention it. Goodbye.
Who was that?
Wrong number. They were calling some butcher shop.
Well, what did you take that big order for? They won't get it.
No, but they'll have a wonderful night's sleep. Now let me give this hall closet.
Come in.
How do you do? I am making a radio survey. What radio programs do you listen to regularly?
Oh, Lemon Abner and Fred Allen and Bob Hope, the Great Gildersleeve. Oh, lots of things.
Yeah. How about David's first wife's second husband?
I don't think we know him, Bud.
It's a radio program. What do you think is the main point of interest in David's first wife's second husband?
Well, I'm afraid we don't hear it, sir.
It's really a splendid program. Very interesting.
Well, I'm sure it is, Bud.
Thank you. Wait till I write that down. I think it is a very interesting program.
We used to hear a lot of radio shows, Bud, but we don't have the time now. I can't say we miss them either.
Oh, that's splendid. I'll put that down, too. Never misses David's first wife's second husband. Now tell me, what is your very favorite program?
Oh, I hate to say.
I see. Hates radio. Thank you very much, folks. Good day.
That's the first pair of socks I've seen in years. I guess you don't have to keep mending them like you would if you wore socks.
Look, McGee, are you going to clean out that closet like you promised?
Oh, I suppose. Go ahead, open her up.
Oh, no, you open it.
Oh, no, you don't. Not me. The last time I tried.
Oh, dear, come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Wimple.
Hi, Wimp, old man. You're in early tonight.
Yes, I know, Mr. McGee, but I just couldn't wait to read you my new poem.
Oh, a new poem. Isn't that wonderful, McGee?
Yeah, what's the title, Wimp?
I call it Flower Arrangement.
Oh, isn't that beautiful, flower arrangement? Yeah. How does it go?
It goes, The Japanese are very nasty fighters, but good at arranging flowers, the sillies. So let's give them a lot of practice, the blighters. With lilies.
Well, not bad, Wimp. I'd like to have a copy of that.
All right. Have you got a typewriter I could make some copies on?
No, we loaned our typewriter.
Why, sure we have, Wimp. You bet you have.
McGee, you know very well.
Now, let me think. Where is that typewriter? Oh, yeah, I know where it is. Right in there in the hall closet, Wimp. Right on the shelf. Up the top.
Thank you. Right in here.
No, Mr.
Yeah, that's it, Wimp.
Just look at all the stuff.
Well, I guess I might as well clean it out now that it's open.
Oh, Mr. Wimple, you're trembling. What's the matter?
Oh, before all that noise and confusion, Mrs. McGee. My goodness. You people go to any lengths to make a person see the sound, don't you?
Well, I'm sorry the noise upset you. Can I give you something to brace you up?
That would be wonderful, Mr. McGee. Make it half and half.
Half and half what?
Half water and half milk.
I don't think we got a drop of milk in the house, Wimp. How about some root beer?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dare, Mr. McGee. I went home with some ginger ale on my breath once, and Seedy Face raised blood.
Oh, she did?
Yes. That is our gardener. Seedy Face raised him way over his head and threw him at me.
That flower of yours really dishes it out, doesn't she?
Oh, she's just a big impressive girl, Mr. McGee. And that reminds me, I've got to be getting on home. I promised Seedy Face I'd clean her army rifle today.
Oh, is she quite a marksman, Mr. Wimple?
Indeed, she is, Mrs. McGee. She's going out to the rifle range this afternoon.
Yeah?
I put a plug in the end of the rifle so the snow wouldn't get into it.
A plug? Why, my gosh, Wimp, if she fires that gun with a plug in it, she'll blow her head off.
Yes.
we just cleaned this closet out 4 months ago.
I think the pixies do it. I think the pixies go around at midnight and steal stuff out of junkyards and attics just to put in our closet.
Now, listen, don't joke about the pixies.
Huh?
I have a grandmother in Ireland who really believes in the little people.
Oh, that's nothing. I got a grandfather in Georgia that nobody believes. Not even big people. Hey, look at the box I found in this junk. Keep my cigars in. It's got the music box in it, remember?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that sweet? What does it say on the cover?
Huh?
Souvenir of Petoskey, Michigan.
Remember the spring we were up there? The Indians were selling those flowers on the street corners?
Yes, yes.
Trailing arthritis, I think they were.
No, you don't mean arthritis, dear. You mean trailing arbutus.
I do not. Arbutus was a guy in Shakespeare. Sure. He's the guy that stabbed Caesar in the toga.
Now, that was Brutus.
Go on. You're thinking of that fairy tale, Puss in Brutus.
No, it wasn't Puss in Brutus.
Huh?
And I tell you what you mean is arbutus.
And then what's arthritis?
Well, it's a sort of a rheumatism that makes your joints swell.
That's what I say. Any place that sells flowers on every street corner is a swell joint.
I'm getting this junk there, Caesar.
Say, help me out, will you?
Why, sure, old-timer. What's on your mind? Besides the worst-looking fedora I ever saw this side of Olson & Johnson.
Don't let him annoy you, Mr. Oldtimer. What's the trouble?
Well, look, kid. I gotta be postmaster at a party tomorrow night, and I thought you could give me some advice.
Well, you've come to the right authority, my optimistic old octogenarian. I personally am known from coast to coast as the greatest after-dinner speaker now living.
Yeah. And the reason you're now living is that you gave it up.
What's the procedure, kid?
You know any good jokes?
Oh, it's a mixed party, Johnny.
In that case, you got to stick to whimsy.
I'm going to be pretty nervous. Up there with all those people are looking at me.
Nothing to be nervous about. The only thing is, old-timer, to be a good postmaster, you got to be fast on your feet.
Oh, that's easy, Johnny. Watch this.
Huh?
No. Now, he means mentally, Mr. Oldtimer. You have to think fast. Be witty.
The best thing to do is look over the personalities present and think of some cute thing to say about each one of them. And then when you get a break, boom, let them have it.
Don't you think I'm kind of butting in?
Why should they? You're the master of ceremonies, aren't you?
No, I'm the postmaster.
Huh?
I stand over by the sideboard and make the toast. Then they put it on a plate and pour chicken on a king all over. Well, much obliged for the help, kids. Hope I can remember. Be witty. Fast on the feet. Personalities, boom, let them have it.
What a toastmaster. Hey, why do they call it a toast when somebody gets up and says, let's all toss off a slug of old mutiny? In honor of our dear pal, Fred Mitney. Why toast?
Search me, dearie. Unless it's because somebody with a lot of crust gets up and burns somebody to a crisp. Or butters them till they're soggy. Now, come on, there's a lot of work here to be done.
Okay, there is.
Oh, for goodness sake, stop playing that music.
Well, I just wanted to see how many cigars I had left.
Look, McGee.
Yeah.
Here's that wedding present we got from Aunt Sarah.
Huh?
I wondered where that had gone to.
Oh, dear, I was hoping it would never show up again. Who wants a marble Venus with a clock in her stomach?
Now, I think it's beautiful. Here, wind it up and see if it'll run.
You wind it up or I'll run. I get too embarrassed.
No, folks, am I intruding? Uh-oh. Who opened the closet?
We're cleaning it out, Junior.
Sure is a pile of inconsequential junk, isn't it?
Well, you're going to just stand there and criticize Wilcox? Why don't you jump in and help us?
Oh, listen now, Mr. Wilcox doesn't have to mess with this stuff, McGee.
Well, I wouldn't mind it a bit, Molly, except that I have an appointment in just a few minutes.
Look, Junior, the older I get, the less patience I got for beating around the bush.
What do you mean, McGee?
I mean, he ain't fooling anybody. He come in here to say something nice about Johnson's wax. So why don't he do it and then climb back on his horse and ride away into the purple sunset singing a vagabond song? Come on, handsome, out with it.
Oh, I can't do it like that. It's too crude. No finesse.
Finesse my clavicle.
Now, stop picking on Mr. Wilcox and get busy, McGee. For instance, what are we going to do with this old box of phonograph records?
Oh, what records are they? Oh, look. Here's Tell Me Pretty Maiden.
Yes, and Uncle Josh in the Chinese laundry. You better throw them out, McGee.
Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
Gee, it hurts me to see anything made of wax thrown away.
Isn't it a shame?
Yes, particularly nowadays when wax is used so much to preserve things.
If this is finesse, I'll take vanilla.
Why, there's enough wax in these old records to protect and beautify hundreds of things. Though it's a different kind of wax from Johnson's, which is specially prepared to guard all wood and enamel surfaces from dust and dirt and wear and make a home healthy and sanitary.
Here's Cohen on the telephone.
Sorry, I'm not here. Yes, sir, in times like these, folks, it's pretty important to protect the things you have with Johnson's wax. Floors, furniture, lampshades, windowsills, luggage. Why, when I think how much housework is saved with Johnson's wax, I just... Hey, what time is it? Oh, Jiminy, I got a plan. So long. See you later.
So, that was finesse. No wonder he left in such a hurry.
What do you mean?
He had to rush that tired old plug to a veterinary.
Come on, McGee, I've got 1,000 things to do, so let's get this stuff cleared away.
Hey, look, let me handle this, Molly. You go do your housework. This is a job I can do better alone anyway.
Well, all right, but if you need any help, you call me.
Okay. Look at all this. I wonder where Molly ever picked up all this junk. Take me off, get it straightened out. Come in.
What kind of a father are you, anyway, to let your little girl risk her life climbing 35 feet up a telephone pole?
Who, me? Well, gee whiz, this...
There ought to be a law against irresponsible parents like you. The idea of letting a sweet little girl run wild in the street. What shame.
Why, look, lady, I don't...
Here you are, coming around with a pile of worthless junk, while a little child is risking life and limb in the street. And
Hey, cut it out. I haven't got it.
It's a good thing I came along when I did. I have a good mind to report you to the authorities.
If you really had a good mind, sis, you'd quit checking your pocketbook at me and listen a minute. What child are you talking about?
This one right here. Come in here, little girl.
Hi, Papa.
So, it's you, is it? I might have known it was. And who you calling Papa?
Your Papa, dear.
I'm gonna stop that. You call me Papa again, and I'll spank you so hard on your little you won't be able to sit down for a week.
Why, you big brute. What kind of a father are you to talk to your little girl like that?
Who said she was my little girl?
She did.
Did you, sis? Quit stalling. Did you inform this nosy Did you tell this lady you live here?
Yeah, I did, Bertha. Can I stay out and tell her if I longer, Papa?
You can go out and play for the next 10 years, you little double-crosser.
If this isn't the worst case I ever... Little girl, you stay right here till I can notify the authorities.
Okay.
What is your name, sir?
Fibber McGee, and the authorities don't know. They know that I haven't got it.
They know you haven't got any right to treat a child like this. You just wait.
Look, sis, what goes on here? What were you doing up on that telephone pole?
I was a lookout, mister.
Huh?
Yeah, you see, we were playing G-Man and gangsters.
Oh, I see.
And Mary Kiss was a G-Man and I was a gangster. And then this lady came along and started hollering at me. And see, I didn't want her to know I had a daddy that would let me do things like that. Would you see? Would you see?
So you told her I was your daddy.
Yeah.
Put the blame on me, huh?
You think the Mama's going to rat on us, mister?
What?
I bet you she's going to steer to the top of it. See if they hang yourself on his teeth there, so the book is yours. Oh, boy. You get the hot sweater. My name isn't Bump Mouth Bessie, the bad bimbo of Brooklyn.
Look, sis, don't talk like that. You're too sweet and nice.
Give me that, see?
Huh?
The heat's on, see? They'll have every harness in town on a chair, see? Yeah. And Negroes say and no Negroes say, I'm putting it on the land, see? And just so you want south.
Men sing Hit the Road to Dreamland with Starfinder Rhythm. Bye-bye, baby. Time to hit the road to Dreamland. You're my baby. Take you in the land of dawn. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. All night, baby. We'll be bringing up to Dreamland.
said there ain't nothing quite as good as a good bed. The bed and that may not be a very written word. So don't quote me because I only heard with yes, good cheer. And shut your eyes with everything electrified. Mechanized, you should get a little nervous and I hate surprise. Don't go to bed chilling because you can't cure ill with capsules, tablets, and vitamin pills. Everything that'll rest your head, it is a good night of sleeping in a comfortable bed. So just resolve to be loving first because the early little bird is gonna catch a worm. Bye-bye, baby. Time to hit the road to dreamland. You're my baby. Divine what the blue has finally called. Time for all the children to get out of love and
wonderful little gadgets music boxes. When you think how clever them Swiss are at just stuff like this, you wonder how they can make cheese with so many holes in it. Did I make it?
You do. I wish you'd stop playing that music box. You know, it's awful irritating. Besides the spring in it, like, oh, heavenly day.
What's the matter?
Why, you wonderful man. You cleaned away all that junk out of the closet.
Oh, shucks. There was nothing that any red-blooded American boy couldn't have done. I'm strictly the kind of a guy that when there's a job to be done and he can't get anybody else to do it, he does it.
Thanks for cleaning up the mess you do. You mind if I take a peek in the closet and see how it looks?
Go ahead.
Oh, McGee, you're wonderful. Oh, there's not a thing left in the closet but one old briefcase.
Yeah, I know it.
What'd you leave that in there for?
Bait.
Bait?
Yeah. We got to start the next pile of junk with something, don't we?
Well, anyway, thanks very much for cleaning it up. And just for that, I'm going to do something nice for you.
What?
I'm going to throw a dinner party just for the two.
Oh.
Candles and a new tablecloth I got for Christmas. And our best silver.
We get about as much privacy as a bird store canary. Come in.
Oh, how do you do?
Buenas noches, mis queridos amigos. Perdonen ustedes, pero necesito saber que toda es descompuesta y no puedo hacer la comida para mi hermano como lo tenga el Little Monkey Ray.
You understand French good enough to know what she said, Mom?
I think it was Spanish, dearie.
Oh.
I recognize the words monkey wrench.
Gee, so did I. I never knew I spoke Spanish. Look, sis, we didn't quite get it. What was it about a monkey wrench?
Señor, y como no encuentro una, no puedo hacer la comida para mi hermano. Y a mí me gusta tanto sorprenderle cuando llega a la casa y no sabe. ¿Cooking?
Well, I'd like to know what's cooking myself. Isn't she a pretty little thing, McGee?
Yeah. You speak any English, sis?
Oh, sí, señor. I speak the English much good.
She's not doing it much good. You live around here, dearie?
Sí, señora. Mi casa está muy cerca down the street.
Oh, must be a new neighbor. And you want to borrow a monkey wrench, eh, sis?
Sí.
Yes, I see. You see, Molly?
Yes, I see too, dear.
Yeah.
She wants to borrow a monkey wrench.
Yeah. Spanish is a cinch for us. What do you want the monkey wrench for, sis?
My stove. He is broken.
Oh.
I fix it. I cook. My brother, he's coming home soon tonight. We can make him. No fish, no dinner. Y si mi hermana no tiene la comida lista cuando mi hermano llega, entonces ella está cooking her mess out, ¿no?
I think I get it, McGee. She wants to take the wrench and fix her stove.
So she can cook the dinner for her brother.
Yes.
That's right, sis?
Sí, señor. Oh, you are a very smart Alex.
McGee, under that little wrench there you were fixing the music box with.
Oh,
yes. I hope you get your brother's dinner all right, dearie. By the way, what did you do?
He eats the dinner.
No. What did you do for a living, sis? What's his job?
Oh, he flew.
He what?
He flew. Es un piloto. He flew the airplane.
Oh, he flies an airplane.
Oh.
Sí, señor. He is a much good fluer, my brother. Por muchos años se le está volando el aeroplano. Y él siempre tiene la... Carlos! That is my brother. He flew over the head.
Well, I thought for a minute he was he's going to flues down the flue.
Always he flew close over the chest. He flew once, he is not coming home for dinner. He flew 2 times, he comes home.
Oh, signals, eh? Well, I guess he ain't coming home for dinner tonight, sis, so you better just take him in.
2 times he flew over the chest. Carlos is home for dinner. Ay, qué contenta. Muchas gracias, queridos amigos, por ayudarme tanto. ¿Es okay, Steve? Yes?
Here's McGee. There's some South American pilot stationed out at the airport. I'll bet her brother's one of them.
If she's going to be a neighbor, you better brush her up on her English. She's liable to come over to borrow 2 eggs and go home with the catcher's mitt mechanic school.
Never mind that now. You come with me.
Where?
Never mind. Come along.
Well, what are we going to do?
We're going to have a little dinner party all by ourselves. I'll get out the silver and the candlesticks, and you get my new tablecloth out of the linen cabinet.
Oh, now, Molly, you shouldn't go to all this trouble.
Well, darling, I want to. You've worked hard and you deserve it. You've been a good kid. Go on now. Get out the tablecloth.
No, let's use an old one. I'm kind of dirty.
No, sir. Now, the best is none too good for you.
I don't think we ought to.
Do as I say. Get that tablecloth out of the linen cabinet.
Yeah, but look, Molly.
Well, if you won't, I will.
I think I better flew.
Here now, I've got to break down and make a confession. The other day, a woman accused me of telling only half the truth. It is in connection with a story I've told you several times on this program about how Johnson's Wax helps to keep your home sanitary and healthful because a waxed home is a clean home. She said I had completely forgotten to tell you one of the main reasons why Johnson's Wax keeps things clean. Because it cleans as it polishes. Well, that's true, folks, and I'm sorry if I haven't made that clear. You see, all 3 forms of Johnson's Wax, the paste, liquid, and cream, contain 1 or more active cleaning agents. When you apply them, they remove dirt and grease, and at the same time leave a tough film of wax that seals the surface against dirt and guards it against wear. Then when you rub the waxed surface, it glows with that matchless mellow beauty that good housekeepers and decorators so much admire.
An old handbill I found in that closet, John. Advertising the act I had at Chautauqua.
Heavenly day. Fibber McGee and his talking radio. I never knew you'd been in Chautauqua.
That was just for one summer. I missed the train and got stranded in Shingle House, Pennsylvania. Anyway, the rooster didn't really talk. I used ventriloquism.
Like Edgar Bergen.
Yeah, only much smarter.
Go on. You were smarter than Edgar Bergen?
I certainly is. Bergen smart enough to have a partner he can eat?
This program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson Wax finishes for home and industry, inviting you all to join us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
The Kraft Cheese Company will also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night. Present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Meantime, let me tell you what a friend told me the other day. She said, we tried spreading parquet margarine on our bread for the first time last week, and we were certainly surprised. Why, it's really delicious. Well, I don't know why anyone should be surprised that parquet margarine tastes so good, because parquet margarine is made by Kraft. Yes, and made to be just as good tasting and nutritious as all of Kraft's fine foods. Parquet's flavor is delicate and appetizing, just right for a really satisfying spread for bread. What's more, parquet margarine adds important food values to meals. It's an excellent energy food, one of the best you can serve. And besides, every pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. Yes, Parquet margarine is both nutritious and delicious, and it's wonderfully economical, too. So why not treat your family to Parquet margarine tomorrow? Just ask your food dealer for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now let's see what the Great Gildersleeve is up to. For a week, he's been strictly on the job at the water department, but today, with everything running smoothly, he's been able to give a couple of hours at lunch to laying out future strategy for Eisenhower and MacArthur. So we find him now at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, returning to his office to sign some letters before proceeding to the barber's shop.
Hello? You still there, Mabel? So then we hung around for a while, and... Oh, wait, I think somebody's coming. I'll call you back.
Miss, you there, Bessie.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. I was so busy finishing these letters, I didn't hear you come in.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to ask. They're not done yet?
All but 3, Mr. Gildersleeve, and I'll have those for you right away.
But I only gave you 4. Any phone calls?
No, sir. Oh, yes, there was one from the newspaper.
The Indicator. What did they want?
Well, it was kind of personal, Mr. Gildersleeve.
What do you mean? Who called? The editor?
No, sir. He said he was a society editor.
What did he want?
He asked when you were going to get married.
Oh, well, the date hasn't exactly been set yet. What did you tell him?
Oh, I didn't tell him anything, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good.
I just said what you told me to say when people called up and I didn't know what to say.
Huh? You did what?
Well, I just did what you told me, Mr. Gildersleeve. He asked when you were going to get married, and I didn't know.
What did you say?
We regret there's been a slight delay owing to the shortage in manpower.
That's all, brother. That'll fix it nicely.
But, Mr. Gildersleeve, these letters...
I'll sign them in the morning, and if the phone rings, don't answer it. Oh, that Bessie, I'm going to have to let her go.
Well, speak of the devil.
Oh, hello, Floyd.
Judge and I were just talking about you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Are you living at this barber shop now, Hooker? Every time I come in here, you're here.
Every time I'm here, you come in.
Yes, well, just give the judge a quick trim, Floyd. There's no use trying to make him look good.
Gildersleeve, go over there and sit down, will you, and keep out of my hair.
Very good.
I was just saying to the judge here, Mr. Gildersleeve, I can't imagine you a married man.
I'd like to know why not.
Well, you know what they say. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. We're none of us getting any younger.
Maybe you're not.
By the way, Gildy,
Yeah?
when are you and Leila planning to get married?
Why do you want to know?
Just interested, that's all.
Well, we haven't set the date yet.
What's the matter, Gildy? Is she giving you the runaround?
Why do you ask that?
Well, you've been engaged quite a while now. People are beginning to talk.
Yeah.
Beginning to say, what about this? Is she going to marry him or isn't she?
Of course she's going to marry him. Me. We're just waiting till, well, we thought we'd wait a while, that's all.
Well, that's women for you. Try to pin them down and they give you the slip every time.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I made the mistake of going with a girl for 3 years.
Yes.
That was before I met my present wife. Everything was lovey-dovey from the start, but there was always a million reasons why she couldn't possibly marry me till the day after tomorrow. So in the end, what happens? A cattleman from Kansas moves in, and I wind up married to my present wife, which is okay. Got a nice little place there. Now, you take my advice, Mr. Gildersleeve. Don't make the mistake I made. Pin her down. Get tough.
Yeah, Floyd, you know, you could be right. Get tough.
What's more, they love it. Why, 20 years ago, if I'd known as much about women as I do today, it would have been a different story.
You'd have married the other girl?
I wouldn't have gotten married at all.
Wait a minute now. You got me confused. Be tough. That's the way to treat women, all right. Now, look here, Leila Ransom. I've stood all the shilly-shally, and I'm going to. I want an answer, and I want it now.
Boo.
Leila, never do that to people. It's liable to stunt their growth.
I'm sorry, Throckmorton. Come in, won't you?
Thank you. I was coming in anyway.
I was just going to call you up. I've had the most wonderful news.
It'll have to wait. Leila, I demand to know when we're going to be married.
Well, for goodness sake, is that all?
Oh, isn't it important to you?
Of
course, but I've been trying to tell you, Throckmorton. My only sister Winfield is coming to visit me tomorrow.
That's fine, Leila, but what's that got to do with our wedding day?
Why, I wouldn't think of getting married without having Winfield at my wedding.
Huh?
And besides, I wouldn't want to rush into anything without consulting her.
Yeah.
I hope she likes you, Throckmorton.
I hope so. What if she doesn't?
Oh, that just couldn't happen, darling. I'm sure it couldn't. Because when you try, you can be so charming. You will try, won't you?
Well, of course.
You see, Winfield's married to a Yankee, just like you. But he's the handsomest man I ever saw in my whole life.
I hate him.
He's an engineer, and he's doing some secret construction work for the government at Camp Fuller. So naturally, Winfield and little Michael wanted to be near him.
Michael?
That's their little boy. He's just about Leroy's age, but he's not like Leroy at all.
Well, that's something. Look, Lita, I'll be good to your sister, and I'll be good to her little boy. But answer me one thing. When are we going to get married?
I'll tell you, Throckmorton. I'll let you take us both to lunch tomorrow, and we can ask her then. Oh, mercy, that reminds me. Here it is almost 9 o'clock, and I've got to get up and meet a 6 o'clock train tomorrow morning.
Can't you stay up just a little longer, Leila? I'll meet the train.
Oh, that's sweet of you, Throckmorton, but I'd rather.
All right, I'll go.
Throckmorton, you're not going away angry.
No, I'm going home and think about the Romo plan. Wedding bells.
Wake up. It's after 7 o'clock.
Go away. I want to dream some more, Leroy.
Well, hurry up or you won't get any buckwheat cake.
That's different. I'll be right down.
Okay,
Yeah. Wait a minute, Leroy.
What do you want? My cakes will get cold.
Never mind. I have something important to tell you.
You certainly picked the crummiest times to give out with the old malarkey.
This is not malarkey. Shut the window.
Turn off the cold air, turn on the hot.
I heard that, Leroy.
I meant turn on the heat.
Yeah. Now, listen to me, young man. Mrs. Ransom's sister is coming to visit her.
Is she good looking?
You're getting too fresh. The lady is arriving this morning, and I want you to make a good impression on her.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Stay out of sight. She has a little boy, and when the proper time comes, it may be all right for you to play with him. But until I say so, don't you go near him.
For goodness sake, what's going on up here?
Oh, good morning, Marjorie. I was just about to get up.
I sent Leroy up because Bertie's making buckwheat cakes, and now Leroy's cakes are cold.
Oh, I'm sorry, my dear. I was telling him how to behave himself while Mrs. Ransom's sister is here.
Oh, when did she come?
This morning. I'm meeting him for lunch today, but we'll have him here soon. And I want everybody to be as nice to her as possible.
Well, I'll certainly do all I can, Uncle Mort. And I'll keep an eye on Leroy.
Oh, sure. Let's all keep an eye on Leroy.
No, young man.
You better start keeping an eye on her, If you know what time she came in last
Leroy,
night...
mind your own business.
Mr. Gildersleeve, what's the matter with this family?
Good morning, Bertie.
I've been cooking here a long time, but this is the first time my buckwheat cakes ever run into a boycott.
Yes. Now, Bertie.
It's discouraging, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, but your buckwheat cakes are wonderful, Bertie.
Maybe they are, maybe they ain't. All I know is that you and Leroy walked out on them, and your uncle won't even get out of bed to try a sample.
Oh, but, Bertie, I was telling him about Mrs. Ransom's sister. She and her little boy are coming to visit Mrs. Ransom, and all of us must do our very best to make them happy.
Yes, sir. That gives me an idea.
What's that, Bertie?
I wonder, do they need a good cook?
No, gangway, everybody. Get downstairs and plow into those buckwheat cakes. Nice windy corner I picked to wait on. Why can't women be on time?
Throckmorton, are we too frightfully late?
Only about 3/4 of an hour.
Oh, good.
Huh?
Throckmorton, I want you to meet my sister Winfield. Winnie, this is Throckmorton.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do?
Why, darling, he's a spitting image of Harvey Diefenbach. Only Harvey was thin. Well, isn't he?
I see what you mean.
I don't.
Oh, you'd have to know Harvey to appreciate it.
Well, this little man must be Michael. How are you, Mike?
I'm
I'm very well, thank you. And you, sir?
Huh? Oh, yes. Well, I'll bet you're a pretty tough customer. You want to fight, Mike? Put up your dukes.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm not allowed to fight.
Yeah.
Oh, Winnie, I'm so glad to hear. It's going to be just like old times.
Won't it? You know, Leila and I were always together. People used to call us the heavenly twins.
Oh, really? Well, you don't talk alike.
Oh, well, Winnie's been up north so long, she talks like a Republican. But in the old days, we were more like chums than sisters. Remember when we used to go on dates together?
And dress alike.
Oh, you remember the summer at Virginia Beach when we switched bows?
Yes, and remember the summer I was so crazy about Tubby Walker? Till the day of the picnic.
Speaking of picnics, ladies, how about a little lunch?
Oh, gracious, here we are rambling on like a couple of schoolgirls and forgetting all about Throckmorton.
You know, I can't get over how much he looks like Harvey Diefenbach.
Who on earth is Harvey Diefenbach?
Who is Harvey Diefenbach?
Well, Harvey was an old beau of mine that I got engaged to once when I was young and foolish.
Oh.
I laugh every time I think of him.
You were dead serious at the time, though.
Oh, gracious, yes. And Winnie couldn't see him for dirt. She did everything in her power to break it up.
Yeah. Oh. Well, how about a little lunch, huh? I don't mind telling you, I'm starved.
Oh, Throckmorton, I hope you don't mind, but we've only got 5 minutes to get to the hairdresser.
But I thought I was taking you to lunch.
Well, that's terribly nice of you.
Well, we thought if you didn't mind, you could take little Michael to lunch while we have our hair done. Don't you think that would be a good idea?
Well, what about the question we were going to ask?
Throckmorton, you're a lamb. Isn't he a lamb, Winnie? Now, Michael, you go with Uncle Throckmorton and have a nice lunch. We've got to run.
Be a good boy, Michael, and do what Uncle Throckmorton tells you.
Have a good time, you man. You hear? See you later.
Come on, Mike.
My name is Michael.
Michael, come on. We're going in the hotel and have lunch.
But I'm not hungry.
Well, I am. I've been waiting an hour.
This isn't a very nice hotel, is it?
It's the best hotel in Summerfield.
I've been in bigger ones.
Sorry it doesn't measure up to your standards. Let's sit here.
Yes, sir.
Now, what would you like to eat, Michael? I see they've got roast beef today.
Well, I don't like roast beef, thank you.
Don't like roast beef? What boy doesn't like roast beef? Well, how about pork chops?
I'm allergic to pork.
What?
It makes me break out.
Oh. Well, how about a poached egg? You think you can handle that?
I had one for breakfast. It wasn't very good either.
Look, Michael, how about a nice bowl of milk toast?
Let's go away from here.
Just a minute.
But I really don't see anything.
Sit down, you. I'd like a little something to keep body and soul together. I'm going to have roast beef, baked potato, peas, succotash, and pie a la mode. And you little squirt, you can sit there and watch me eat it.
The Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few seconds. I'm sure you mothers and housewives have noticed that when you cook or bake something especially good for your family, it disappears mighty fast. Well, the same thing often happens to a food product that's exceptionally good, and that explains why your food dealer may sometimes be temporarily out of Parquet margarine, Kraft's delicious spread for bread. Of course, Kraft is doing everything possible to keep dealers supplied. But these days, so many people prefer Parquet margarine that some dealers just can't keep up with the demand. Now, I don't mean to say that you can't get Parquet margarine. Likely as not, most of the time you can. But it is wise to watch your dealer's stocks and buy Parquet whenever he has a supply. Remember, Parquet is an excellent energy food and a reliable year-round source of vitamin A. So it's good advice to always watch for and always ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now let's see how the Great Gildersleeve is coming. The last we saw of him, he was stuck with little Michael at lunch while Leila and her sister went off to the hairdresser's. Well, lunch is over now, and a couple of hours have passed, and we find Gildersleeve plodding up the front walk to his house, still with little Michael.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
Why are we going in here?
This is where I live.
Oh, it's kind of funny looking, isn't it?
Listen, I know it's not much, but it's home to me. Now, come on.
Whose bicycle is that?
That's Leroy's bicycle.
He doesn't take very good care of his things, does he?
Yeah. Well, no, he doesn't. But he's a good kid. I'm just beginning to appreciate him. Bertie!
your feet.
This is my house, and I can come in with dirty feet if I want to.
That you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Bertie, has Leroy come home from school yet?
I'll say he's home. I just caught him out in the kitchen stuffing himself with the applesauce I made for dinner.
I don't know what's for dinner, Unc.
That's all right, my boy. If you're hungry, it's a sign you need food. I like to see a boy eat anyway.
Huh?
Leroy, this is Michael.
Hi.
Michael, meet Leroy.
How do you do? I've been looking forward to meeting you. Is he kidding?
Now, Leroy, remember that Michael is your guest.
My guest?
Yes. I thought it'd be nice if you two boys played together all afternoon.
Oh, but Unc, I was just going over to Piggy. She's expecting me.
Leroy, I'm asking you as a favor to me.
I thought you told me to keep away from the little punk.
Listen, you entertain the little punk and don't give me an argument.
Mother says it's not polite to whisper.
Yes, and you're right, too, Sonny. Here, Leroy, here's $1. Take it and entertain your little friend in any way you see fit.
Okay, come on, Mike. Where are we going? Down to the drugstore. Do you like comic books? Oh, Mother doesn't allow me to read comic books.
That's all right, Michael. You go with Leroy and have a good time.
Oh, but Mother...
Mother will never know.
Boy, that was a short soda. I win. I hit bottom first. Well, you cheated. You still got some left. I have not. Look. Well, anyway, I made mine last longer. Sour grapes. And when I finish this one, I'm probably going to have another. Yeah? Who's going to pay for it? Oh, I've got money. Oh, mister! His name is Peavy.
Yes? Well, what can I do for you young gentlemen now?
I'll have another chocolate raspberry soda.
Well, I'm sorry, son, but we have a rule here, only 2 of those to a customer.
I suppose you think if you make me another one, I'll be sick.
If I make you another one, Sonny, I'll be sick.
Well, my mother lets me drink all the sodas I want.
Well, if you'll bring me a note from your mother to that effect, I'll be glad to fill the prescription. But I wouldn't care to take the responsibility myself.
Listen, you have no right... Hey, why don't you stop hollering and finish the soda you've got? I don't want to. I paid for it. You go on and finish it. I don't want to. Why not? I don't think I feel very well. Here, give it to me. I'll finish it.
Oh, here you are.
Hi, Unc.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Leroy, where in the world have you two been?
Right here.
You know what time it is? Michael, your mother's been looking all over the place for you. She's just about crazy.
Well, I'm afraid our young friend here is overindulged a bit, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah? What do you mean?
I don't feel very well.
Oh, my goodness, look at him. Spots.
Well, now, there's nothing to be alarmed at, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'd say it was just a simple case of hives.
Nothing to be alarmed at. I'll get the blame for this. What's he been eating?
Well, he's under the influence of a couple of raspberry sodas.
A couple? Peavy, what kind of a joint are you running here?
I'm just trying to run a respectable drugstore, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You know what you're running? A public nuisance.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
You ought to know better than to stuff a kid with sodas. How is this going to look for me? I'm supposed to be taking care of this little twerp. When his mother sees him, she'll burn up. What am I going to do?
Well, a little calamine lotion might relieve the irritation.
Oh, goodbye, Peavy.
Oh, it's you, Throckmorton.
I won't come in. I just wondered if little Michael was better today.
A little better, I think.
Fine. Keep him warm. Leila, I wondered if you'd care to go to the movies with me tonight. Bing Crosby and something or other.
Oh, I'd love to go, Throckmorton, but Winfield's crazy about Bing. Why don't you take her instead?
Well, that'll be all right, only...
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton. I know she'll have a lovely time.
Hello, Leila. I have 2 tickets to the subscription concert this evening. Would you be able to go?
Oh, Throckmorton, you must take Winfield. She just loves music.
But I want to see you.
Oh, you can see me anytime.
When, for instance? I got these tickets just for you, Leila.
I know. Get 3 tickets and we'll all go.
Leila, you're going out to dinner with me tonight.
But, Throckmorton...
No, I won't take no for an answer. I haven't seen you alone for a week.
Well, I'd love to, Throckmorton, but I just don't like to go out and leave Winfield alone.
I got that all taken care of, too. Judge Hooker's going to take Winnie to dinner and the movies.
Oh.
Now, will you have dinner with me, or do I have to kidnap you?
Oh, Throckmorton, you're so masterful. What can a girl say?
All right. And I'll be expecting an answer to a certain question you've been putting off, too.
Oh, goodness, Throckmorton. That was certainly a wonderful dinner.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, but it's nice to be home here with just you. I hope Judge Hooker took Winfield to a nice place.
Yeah, don't worry. The judge is a spender. They're probably at the movies by now.
Well, I'd rather just sit here by the fire with you and talk.
Yeah, me too.
What shall we talk about, Throckmorton?
Well, I've been trying all evening to get you to answer one question.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're not going to stop that again.
I'd like to know why not.
Well, you're so unromantic about it.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about you then, huh? You know what I think is the cutest thing about you?
No, what?
Your ears. Your ears are so pink, and they stick out.
Why, Throckmorton?
From under your hair, I mean.
Oh.
You know, there's something I've been wondering for a long time.
What?
If you kiss a person in the ear, do they feel it or hear it?
That's a very interesting question, Throckmorton.
Yeah, and I know how to find out, too.
Uncle Throckmorton, what are you doing?
I wish that kid was Leroy for 5 minutes.
Gracious, Michael, why aren't you asleep, honey lion?
Well, I got nervous upstairs, Aunt Leela, so I thought I'd come and sit with you for a while.
But, Michael, don't you want the Sandman to come and take you to the land of Nod?
Oh, no, I never go to sleep until Mommy comes home.
You don't, huh? Well, now that's no way to grow big and strong, Michael. I bet if you lie down in your little bed and let Uncle Throckmorton tell you a little story, you'll be asleep in no time.
I don't like stories, thank you.
You'll like this one.
Now, Throckmorton, don't force the time.
Yes, I won't, Leela. Now, let's just try it, shall we, Michael? Just come upstairs with me, and if you don't like the story, you can come down here again.
Is that a promise, Uncle Throckmorton?
Cross my heart and hope you die. I die.
All right, but I'm warning you, I hate animal stories.
Suit yourself, my boy. No animal stories. I'll be back in a moment, Leela.
And I don't like fairy stories either.
All right, no fairy stories.
And I really can't stand them.
Never mind. Now, young man, let's come to an understanding. I want you to get in your bed and stay there.
But I don't want to.
All right. Now, what do you want most of anything in the world?
I want to be one of the quiz kids.
Well, next to that, be reasonable.
I want a chemistry set.
You sucker. What do they cost?
$2.50, I believe.
All right, here's $3. Now, do you think you can go to sleep?
I think so.
All right. Sweet dreams.
Throckmorton, you're wonderful.
Oh, that's nothing, Leela. I have a way with children.
I didn't realize you were such a storyteller.
You'd be surprised. Oh, don't stop playing, Leela. That was beautiful.
Well, if you really enjoy it. Tell me the story you told Michael, won't you?
What, and put you to sleep, too?
I'll bet it wouldn't. Tell me a story, Throckmorton.
All right, I'll tell one just for you. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess named Leela. She was the prettiest princess in the whole world.
Is the princess asleep for 100 years on account of a witch?
That's right.
And what does it take to wake her up?
A kiss?
From a prince?
No, from a water commissioner. Leela.
Yes, Throckmorton.
Leela.
Hello, everybody.
Well, I'll be...
Oh, hello, Winnie, darling.
Don't need to disturb you. I'm just going upstairs.
But, Winnie,
I'll be right down.
Leila, this is the last straw.
What do you mean, Throckmorton?
You know what I mean. I wanted an evening alone with you, and here she is again.
Well, I'm sorry, Throckmorton.
Don't you try to pull the wool over my eyes. You and your sister planned this.
But, Throckmorton, we didn't.
I'm not blind, Leila. Your sister's doing to me just what she did to Harry Dittendorfer.
Harvey Diefenbach.
Harvey.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She's been keeping us apart, tearing me down, trying to break off our engagement. It's a conspiracy.
Throckmorton Gildersleeve, I never heard such talk.
It's not just talk, Leila. I'm through being made a fool of by your sister and your sister's little boy. You can choose between us right now.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I will not deny my own flesh and blood for you or anybody else. Please consider our engagement at an end. Here.
But what?
Your ring. Good night, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good night.
Hello, Gildy.
Hooker, what did you bring that woman back here for?
Why, we're on our way to the movies. She just stopped in to get her lipstick.
Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, here's a special bulletin from Washington. Price Administrator Prentice M. Brown announces that effective today, shoes are rationed. This includes all shoes with leather or rubber soles. Wartime requirements make this necessary. Every person will be entitled to buy one pair of new shoes during the next 4 months. There are only 3 things you must know. First, no shoes may be sold to consumers until Tuesday. Second, beginning Tuesday, every person is entitled to buy one pair of shoes with stamp number 17 of War Ration Book 1, the Sugar and Coffee Book. Third, the shoe stamp from the ration book of one member of a family may be used for any other member of that family group living in the same household. And here's a special word for shoe dealers. Remember, shoes cannot be sold at retail until Tuesday morning, but dealers may make and receive shipments and place orders as usual within the trade. Beginning Tuesday, retailers must collect stamp number 17 from War Ration Book 1 for every pair sold to consumers. Supplies are large enough to provide everyone with shoes and to give everyone his fair share. Good night, everybody.
This is Ken Carpenter, speaking for the Kraft Shoes Company, and inviting you to listen again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. You women are having your shopping troubles these days. So let me tip you off to a quick solution to that main dish problem. At your food store, whenever you see the yellow and blue package marked Kraft Dinner, think of this. Macaroni and cheese ready in 7 minutes cooking time. You see, that Kraft Dinner package contains a special quick cooking macaroni that cooks fluffy, tender, in boiling water. The package also gives you some Kraft grated so you can sprinkle in the cheese goodness in a jiffy. Just 7 minutes at the stove and you have a dish full of fluffy, light macaroni drenched in cheese goodness. A grand main dish all by itself. And a wonderful extender for a little leftover meat or chicken, too. Each package of Kraft Dinner gives you 4 good servings at the cost of only a very few cents a serving. Of course, this quick-made macaroni and cheese is extra popular right now, so it's wise to order your Kraft Dinner early in the week. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.